Here on the Glory.
Al Tillman.
It's going too far. You think we've gotten too radical with our message? Well, I got news for you. You ain't heard nothing yet.
In R. Kelly news, he threw.
And if you don't know, now you know. Glory, glory.
With guest appearances by Miss Maylene.
Don't get me going here.
Tune in every Thursday at 4:30.
Put them hands together.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Al Tillman Show right here on the Glory. 107.9 FM coming to you.
Let the show begin.
Let's get it on here.
Well, hello, everybody. Guess what? Al Tillman is not present today. So he called in the humble person, me. He called me in to do the show for him in his stead. We hope that everything is great and wonderful with our great commissioner and servant of the city and the people, Al Tillman. I appreciate the opportunity to sit in his stead today. We have a subject matter that is very close and near and dear to my heart. It is the entertainment business. As many of you know, I'm sitting in for Al today, Johnny Hollingshed Jr., and I am a theater person, a movie making person, a singer, all that good stuff. So entertainment is my wheelhouse. And as a matter of fact, next weekend I'll be in San Antonio, Texas, with the national touring stage play, Justice on Trial. And some of you do know that we did make a movie of it, and it is presently showing on Amazon Prime, Justice on Trial, the movie. Go check it out. It's about reparations. And I guess the most recognizable names in the movie are Dorian Wilson, who played Professor Ogilvy on The Parkers, and Todd Bridges. You remember him. Oh, what you talking about, Willis? From Different Strokes. So I was very honored to be alongside them in making that film. And so please go check that out, which is why I am so excited to have this subject matter here today. We've got a movie maker in the house, y'all, and one of the stars of that movie. We just want to say welcome right now to Chris Hughes, the movie maker. How you doing, Chris?
Doing pretty good.
Man, I can't wait for these people to hear about this movie. And then we also have one of the stars of the movie, Mr. Arthur Moore. How are you today, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
That's awesome. Listen, let me do my dramatic intro about this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Hughes Imperial Productions movie premiere of Loyalty, Power, and Betrayal. The movie is From the Shadows. Now, this movie is going to be shown September 24th, 2022 at the Anderson Conference Center here in Macon, Georgia. Now, we're going to get into more specifics about how you can become involved, how you can come and be a part of this wonderful premiere. Let me tell you something. One thing, if you get a chance, anytime that you can be an audience member at a premiere of a movie, take that chance, because there's only one time that there can be a first time. And you certainly want to wear that honor. We're looking at a movie here that we feel like is going to go leaps and bounds and do some great things and illuminate the talents of this director and the actors that are in the movie. Chris,
Yes, sir.
my man, I was sort of auditioning for a part in your next movie as well, so just don't forget that. But we were briefly speaking about the movie, and I find it a very current, very current way of life. that we live, I also find that it is very common in the different nuances that are involved in this movie: loyalty, power, betrayal. I don't know anybody living that doesn't have some story that centers around those three subject matters. But if you can, uh, give us a synopsis of this movie.
So this movie is basically about me and my co-star over there, Arthur Moore. We grew up in the drug game. We was young. I was influenced by him. My character um, uh, looks up to him, almost like a father figure,
Okay.
sort of say. I have a little baby brother. I'm sorry. I have a little baby brother that wants to get in the drug game as well.
Okay.
Well, he's the smart one of the family. So I'm like, nah, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. So he becomes jealous of me and Smooth. That's the other character's name. Relationship. So growing up, he starts to despise him. And as we become older, and he graduates, he's got these
So hold
diplomas.
on, hold on. So one of the dynamics that we were talking about earlier, you just touched on, and I know that that happens all the time.
Mhm,
That the younger brother can see his older brother
mhm,
has a friend,
mhm.
and the younger brother wants the older brother's time,
Yep.
and the friend of the older brother does nothing to the younger brother,
Nothing.
not a thing against him, but the younger brother develops a disdain
Hmm.
toward that older brother's friend.
Hmm.
Now, how many of us haven't? Who, if you've got siblings, you know this story.
Right.
So go ahead.
Right. So as we get older, he graduates. He has his degrees and everything. But me and Smooth, we're making more money now.
Okay.
So he's looking like, okay, I went to college. I've done all this. But y'all still making more money than me. Just let me go ahead and get it. I'm like, nah. Like I did jail time. Smooth has done jail time. We, you're the good guy.
So
You're
you're
gonna stay
still
with
the
the good guy.
protector.
I'm still the protector as
Yes,
the
sir.
older. So now he's starting to resent me a little for being the protector. Um, so he goes behind my back and he do some devilish things. I can't say what because that'll kind of give the story away.
Sure, sure.
But he sets up a plan that tries to divide me and Smooth's relationship, and it almost works.
Mm.
So that's where the loyalty comes in at because it's like I'm looking at my best friend like, did you really do this? And he's looking at me, come on, you know me, I didn't
Ah,
do this. So that's where the loyalty comes in at. So it's a story that has a lot of twists and turns in it,
okay.
and I always told my little brother that you're not smart enough for this game, and the plan that he comes up with kind of lets you know that okay, you're not smart for this game because you're going to some guys who are really about that life to try to set up a plan, and in turn they use you.
Mm.
So it all kind of blows up in his face
So your
in
younger
the end,
brother has academic skills,
but not street
but not
smart.
street
Yeah,
smarts.
exactly.
Yeah, those
Exactly.
two clash quite a bit in this world. And we've seen who hasn't seen, the A student go on the block
Right. Right.
and try to applicate those skills that he's gotten out of the classroom to street life,
Mm-hmm.
and just doesn't work out
It
for him.
doesn't work out.
And there's a lot of realism in this movie that you speak of,
Mm-hmm.
which I think a lot of people are going to be captivated by.
Absolutely.
That's an attention grabber for sure. We're going to get back with you,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Arthur Moore,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
my man.
What's going on, man?
So, tell me about the onset. Let's shy away from the plot of the movie for a moment,
Okay. Okay.
because there are a lot of young people out there aspiring and want to be actors,
Right.
but don't understand how it works.
Okay.
They think you just come in, you learn your lines, and then you set up, and then in one day you shoot the whole movie.
Nah, it's a lot of hard work into shooting a movie or being an actor. Period. You do have to learn your lines. That's one of the key things. But um, movies is a little different. You know, me and Chris did some stage plays and stuff like that as well. So doing all of that is still the same concept. You got to learn your lines, but more so with movies, where you we're doing different scenes. So if you get a script from, say, from Chris or whoever writes the script, right? Uh, we might start in the middle of the script. That's how we start the movie. That's
Okay.
where we start shooting at. We're not, how you see a movie on TV is not how it laid out. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? You lay it out differently. You might shoot the ending first,
Okay.
and you might shoot the middle first or something like that. But you don't need to know the whole script of the movie at that time. You just
Gotcha.
learn your lines for whatever you shoot
For that scene.
For that scene, exactly.
And then you said you did some stage acting. Stage acting and movie acting are two different animals.
Exactly.
Totally different animals. And a whole lot of people don't really understand that
Right.
because you're so demonstrative when you're on stage. You got to make everything big so that the audience, the person in the back seat of the theater,
Right.
can see it. When you're on screen, the cameras are right there, almost touching you, and you got to minimize all those actions. And it's a big trick for a lot of people who try to make the transition. So
Right,
how
right.
hard was that transition for you?
Going into the movie, doing the movies and doing stage plays, I think, and I mean, Chris talk about this all the time. I think the movies is easier, because if you mess up, you can just start over.
Right.
You know what I mean? For as the stage plays, if you mess up, you just out there. You know what I'm saying? So if you mess up your line, you gotta come back with something quick.
Improv.
You gotta improv.
Yeah, you got to
quick.
be
So,
quick.
Yeah, you got to be quick. I just did a stage play this weekend,
Okay.
this past weekend. So yeah, you have to be quick on your feet when it comes to the stage plays. You can't mess up. So you have to know your lines. Now I'm not saying you don't have to know your lines when you're doing the movie, but you can mess up and you can be like, yo, let's
Cut. Let's reshoot.
Yeah, sometimes we don't do this a lot. Sometimes we don't even cut. We just start from, we just say, hey, take a beat and we start over. And
Yeah.
because you can edit that.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? So you don't have to, it's not a lot of pressure
Okay.
per se, like it is with a stage play.
Okay.
Put it like that.
Okay.
Now it's gonna be, you keep messing up, now you're gonna have longer days.
Yeah.
But other
And then
than
you
that,
get into cost.
right. Yeah. Then you get into cost.
Yeah.
So you have to know your lines. But sometimes when you don't, I mean, we had plenty days that everybody messed up on their lines, but it's sometimes it's funny. That's where the bloopers come in. At.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So
What about this character do you connect with?
this character is basically, I connect with it a lot because he's more like me.
Okay.
Laid back, subtle. Really don't get into too much unless he has to.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? He's kind of
Character name is Smooth. His nickname is Smooth.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to be charged with some copyright infringement because in the neighborhood when I grew up, that was my nickname.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm charging.
Okay.
Some royalties coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Over in Macon, I grew up in the west side over here, Macon Homes,
Okay.
when it was still Macon Homes.
Right. I grew
Yeah.
up in Bloomfield. Right?
Yeah, we're going to get into
Yeah.
the fact that we are homeboys
Okay.
shortly
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's it. I connect with him a lot. So it wasn't kind of hard playing him. Where Tornado, which is played by Chris, he's kind of more like the hothead of us, and I kind of calm him down a lot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we do get in a couple heated battles. That I win, that I must say, because
He had to slip that one in, right?
But it's and the reason being because I kind of calm him down. He kind of listen. He'll kind of fall back and be like, because I'm like the older brother per se. So he'll kind of fall back and be like, okay, let me listen to him right quick. See what he's talking
So
about.
you're in the movie, your character is a little bit older than Tornado.
Right.
So in some sort of way, Tornado is the oldest person at his house, but stepping outside the house, he's probably looking for an older brother figure.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's how
a-
you two guys
Right.
get to be so close.
Right.
He didn't have a dad. He didn't have a father figure. Tornado didn't have a father figure.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
man. See,
Yeah.
now how many people can identify with that?
A lot.
Yeah.
So we lose a lot of our kids to exactly that, that are the oldest at home and had all this responsibility that they didn't ask for.
Right.
And now when he gets out here in this world, he's looking for somebody to do for him and carry the weight that he's carried all this time,
Yep.
Exactly.
which easily leads him astray.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez,
Mm-hmm.
this sounds like real life to me.
Could have been a warehouse worker.
Yes,
Showed me the right way.
absolutely.
But I met a dope boy.
Right.
Showed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that money came in, so it's like, hey, this is the way to go then.
But it's still, it's still family though. We show family oriented.
Yeah, well,
things as
listen,
well.
everything you said so far is real life family.
Right.
That you have all of these components
Right.
in real life where you got in many families that don't have a father and the oldest person in that family who is some sort of surrogate parent gets tired of being the one that has to make all the decisions.
Right.
And so then they get outside of that box and then they run into a Smooth, right? And then so it's like, hey, Smooth can make the decisions now.
Right.
And it becomes an easy transition. Tell me, Mr. Hughes, how did you get into movie making?
Well, I always wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
That's something I always wanted to do.
Okay.
But I always said I didn't want to go to school for it. I'm not really a school guy. Smart, but I'm just not. I think I had to touch it. What they say, ADD.
No, see, now, see, you're intelligent is a state of being.
Right.
Smart is the application of your intelligence.
Right.
So you were always intelligent.
Right.
You didn't want to apply your
I
smart
didn't want to apply it,
in somebody's classroom.
Man, my mama, elementary school, all age, right?
Okay.
Discovered girls, starts hitting C's. Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Tell me that's not an actual real life story. Yeah.
So yeah, I always wanted to do the acting thing. When I started looking at people like Ice Cube and LL and like, okay, I'm gonna rap my way to acting.
Okay.
Because I don't want to go to school. So I started rapping, right?
Okay.
Dope lyrics, I just don't feel like I had the voice for it. If you had to have a particular voice to rap, right? So I didn't have it. So I met this guy. I don't recall how or where I met him at. But it ended up being a stage play.
Okay.
Never wanted to do stage plays. I did it. I liked it. Started doing stage plays with a childhood friend of mine. And the difference, to touch on what Arthur said, the difference in the movie thing and the stage play, the movie is a fun thing. It's fun. The stage play is a high. It's like a high. I'm a type of person that I hate practice. I hate it with a passion. With stage plays, you have to practice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I ain't gonna do it no more because I don't want to practice.
Okay, Allen Iverson,
absolutely. So, but the night of the play, jump on stage, that high.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, somebody hit me right there. Hey, I got this other play. You want to do? sign me up.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm in it. And when I said I'm not going to do it no more,
Exactly.
it's a different feeling. It's like a high. It's nerve wracking before you get on stage. For instance, if you got a line coming up and you know your key to walk on stage, it's like for me personally, it's like my knees are buckling. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
But when I walk on that stage, it's like I become cocky. Like, okay, if I'm the funny guy, I'm like, oh, y'all mothers better laugh at me.
Well, I'm home
I
now.
got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
Yeah.
are mine. I'm gonna make you do what I want you to do.
Know that feeling very well.
The last play I was in, I was the villain. I was the abusive husband.
Okay.
So after the play, I had women coming up to me. You know what? You did a good job, but I wanted to get on that stage and beat your, you know. So it's like, you know, you bring that, and it's a high. It's a different,
I
it's a different
so
feeling.
much identify with
It's a
that.
different feeling on stage. But the film thing, I know one day me and Arthur kind of got frustrated with something that we was talking on the phone, and it's another lady. I'm gonna give her flowers at the premiere. She always told me, why don't you write your own thing?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you write your own? I'm like, nah, I can't write nothing. You write it and I'll make it fun of you, or I'll
Okay.
make it better.
Okay.
But me just creating something, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. So one day, me and him was talking, and like, man, he was like, let's just come up with something. I got this idea. Blah 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 blah. You know what? Blah blah blah. Just go back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth. Next thing you know, we're like, hey, Arthur, I'm finna go home. I'm finna write something to this.
Okay.
Phone conversations. Next thing you know, From the Shadows were created.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
traded. And the thing about co-writing, y'all don't have to write 50-50. You know, I could literally be having a writer's block, call him like, man, I'm stuck. Like when Tornado do this, I don't know where to go with it. What if he do such and such?
Yeah.
Now I'm writing 4 or 5 pages to what he just said.
Oh,
in one sentence.
absolutely.
So, you know, co-writings go way further than just writing words. It's
Absolutely.
ideas, you know. So we did that, and From the Shadows were created.
That's awesome, man. You were talking about being on stage, being the villain, and the woman wife beater or whatever.
Yeah.
It took me, man. There's a play by a playwright called August Wilson, who many refer to as the Shakespeare of our time, African American playwright. And he had a play called Fences. Denzel and those made a movie about it, but the original stage play was James Earl Jones and Sam Jackson and Denzel and some other cats. I did this show, right? And the character I played was Troy Maxson. And Troy has this wife, but then he's messing around. Then he has this baby by the girl that works at the bar. So Troy brings the baby home because during the birth, the mother dies. So Troy comes home, and we're doing this show here in Macon. We were doing this play over at Martin Luther King, had made it a theater over there. And my character is Rose. I'm standing here with this baby in my hand. She just a wee little bitty old thing. She don't know nothing. She ain't got nothing to do with this, Rose. And I'm just asking if you let me bring this baby home. And you know how you on stage, you hear somebody in the audience say something?
Yeah.
And I heard somebody in the audience say, I know she ain't gonna take that baby.
Yep.
And so, but I was like, okay, cool. I heard some stuff like that before. Then I heard somebody else say, if she take that baby, she ain't got enough sense not to take that baby, I'm going to have to help that child out. We had to, the audience rumble got so loud, we had to stop the play, man.
Yeah.
It was so real for the audience. Who, you know, that's another thing you find out too, that all audiences are not theater trained.
Right.
And we had to literally stop doing the play and explain to them, this is a toy doll. We don't know, we ain't married.
Right.
but you can get so involved
That's when it show you doing your job.
with actors, and it is man, you saying a lot of things, hitting on a lot of buttons. That's why they wrote their song. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing. Anything the public will allow. Nowhere can you get that extra feeling than when you're stealing that extra bow. Man, that is so accurately descriptive of this genre. And I tell you another thing, you can't be in this genre and be a dummy.
Right.
Right.
And that's why I try to encourage so many young people who say, yeah, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actress. Look, learn how to read. You cannot do this without having a sense of understanding
Right.
and being aware of your surroundings.
Right.
It's very interesting that you guys came up with this concept. I think that in the times that we live in now, these stories need to be told so that more people can understand. Because Tornado, as a child, didn't want to be a drug dealer
Right.
or a gangster.
Right.
Smooth, as a little boy, didn't want to be that. But they didn't have the vehicles put in place to monitor them.
Absolutely.
Right.
And can you touch on those kind of subject matters about these characters and how they ended up being where they were?
How they end up being that close? They was real close. So like you said, they didn't really have father figures in their lives. So we're seeing uh, the it wasn't really the girls because they had they knew they was gonna who they wanted to be because the girls in the movie they grew up with the girls, so they always knew that they were gonna marry those.
Oh, so they had their
girls.
crushes early on.
Right. So
Okay.
so the females that they were uh, engaging with at the time as little boys, they end up marrying them. Smooth ended up marrying his lady.
Okay.
And all the way from middle school over to they grew up and just got married. And Tornado was more. He always was in love with the other young lady, and she was in love with him, but she kind of went off school, and she was more like his brother. She didn't want to be in the gang, in the game like that. So she was always trying to get Tornado to get out of it, and she went off to college. So to answer your question, it was more they got into it because they didn't know anything else because they're from the hood, and without having a father figure in them, and just them two leaning on each other, and trying to figure out what can they do to provide for their family, and they just end up doing that. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, it's this movie is more of a love. It's got a lot of stuff in love.
Yeah.
Uh, they have respecting your woman, uh, respecting people. Period. So. With the violence and all that, there's some violence in it as well. But it hits on I think it hit on every little subject. You know what I mean? Violence, drugs, love, betrayal. I mean,
Okay.
everything. So yeah.
Yeah, because I had somebody say, somebody said like, I don't know if I want to go see it. I think it's going to be the typical drug
Right.
violent movie, but it's not. The trailer may perceive it to be that way, but it's not. It's everything that Arthur just said it was. It touches on everything. It has a subject. So when people's like, "Hey, what it's about? What genre? What genre it is?" It's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we was just talking about that the other day. I was like, how do we put like an overview on it? How do we say what this movie is about?
Okay.
Because it's touching on all kind of subjects. So if you look at the trailer, you're looking at it and you're probably thinking, "Oh yeah, it's the typical black hood movie," but it's not.
Well, sometimes that particular facet of presenting a movie kind of boxes you in because most people respond to some sensationalism.
Right.
So you kind of have to do that for attention grabbing.
Right. Right.
And sometimes, as you're saying now, people can't see all that it involves. Sounds to me, it's about real life.
Absolutely.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Right, right.
And anybody that is honest knows that everything that you just said on some scale is going to involve power when it comes down to decision making
Right,
and
right.
choices and influences. Is going to sometimes you're going to be dependent on somebody for one thing, and you're not going to know how they're being influenced
Absolutely.
by someone else, and you're going to determine it betrayal when it was really them getting a different kind of influence.
Yep.
Right.
But the end result is you betrayed me because you didn't do
Right.
what I thought you were going to do.
Right.
And then the loyalty part, oh my God, how many times have we said, hey man, I was dependent on you?
Yep. Yep. And that's Tornado's character, 100%. He's a Tornado's character is a 100% loyal guy. When he loves hard.
Okay.
So he looks at Smooth as a brother, father figure. He looks at Lisa, which is his love interest in the movie. It becomes his wife as a big sister.
Okay.
So he looks at them like this is family. So them and his mom and his little brother is all he has in this world. Period. So he would do anything for them. Die for them, go to jail for them, whatever it takes, he would do that for them. So when that betrayal or supposed betrayal happens, it's heartbreaking to him. Yeah, he's this hard guy. He's this thug. But he's also a family man, for lack of a better word. He doesn't have that, typical wife, children, white picket fence family, but the family that I just named is his family. So when that family, especially that guy that he looks up to, betrays him, it's like he's lost everything. And he feels like his old lady has been killed. He feels like his brother has been killed. So now it's like, what do I have in this world?
So he felt like he failed because
felt like
he was a protector.
Yeah, and everything that he loved to protect is gone now. So what do you do at that point? Coming up like he did,
Yeah.
So it's just more than the typical drug dealing movie. It has a actual storyline that's reached beyond drug dealing.
Yeah.
So I think the trailer, as you said, we created the trailer to bring people in, shock value.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you definitely have to see the whole story to see that. Oh, okay, it's not that typical hood drug dealer movie. It actually has a story to tell.
It sounds very interesting to me. Again, and I keep going back to this. It sounds like real life because in my years on the planet, I've seen this manifest itself where the older brother, older sibling, could be sisters or whatever. But I've seen so many times in family units where sometimes we say stuff like, he's really good at school and he's going to excel. I don't want him in this life. So I'm going to push him away. And when you're pushing them away, you're pushing them away from this life. But the person that you're protecting feels like you're pushing them away.
Absolutely.
And they don't understand that.
Absolutely. Right.
They're not looking at it as, oh, you're trying to look out for me. You just don't want to be bothered with me. You think you're better than me. You think I'm not good enough.
Yep.
And then that starts to boil and leads into so many different things. I don't know who's listening can identify with that story.
Right. Especially when you have just a mom raising you.
Yeah, that family unit, that story exists in so many family. It even existed in my family unit. My brother that's next to me, he was like 2.5 years younger. But, you know, when you get to be 13 and you still, it's still 10 and a half,
Yeah.
I'm way older than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 13-year-old kids do stuff 10-year-old kids
Right.
don't do. And it sort of started developing within my real life family unit
Right.
where he thought I didn't like him,
Right.
you know, and later, you know, we got a grasp on that, but that's a terrible thing for your sibling to feel like you don't like him.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I can imagine.
And that'll lead to betrayal
Yeah. Absolutely.
because he thought that I didn't like him.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I'm going to get him back.
Yeah.
How do I get him back?
Yeah.
I don't know how to get him back.
But I'm gonna give him back one way or the other.
And then you end up doing some stuff
Right.
and catching some ideas, and it sounds like
Right.
that you can end up catching ideas from people
Mm-hmm.
who are intending you to receive it one way, but you misunderstand and applicate something all different
Right.
and
Right.
leads to a
Right.
different result.
As you said, everybody has been through it. Me personally, I am the only child.
Okay.
I'm my mother's only child. So I grew up with cousins and friends that was like brothers to me. So I actually grew up with a guy that was like a smooth in sort of way.
Okay.
And as you just said, when you turn 13, your little brother's 10 and a half.
Yeah,
Big
man.
difference.
Big difference.
With me and him, we were the same age, but he matured quicker than me.
Okay.
So as he matured quicker than me, he got in the streets and started doing smooth type things.
Right.
When I just wanted to be at home playing, as a little kid, because he just matured. Life just threw him a different deck of cards that he matured quicker.
Mm-hmm.
We that gap started to form between us. No kind of beef, no kind of dislikement, but it just shows you if I would have had the mind frame as the character, my little brother in the movie is named John John. If I would have had the mind frame of a John John, then I would have resented him for that.
Okay.
But instead, I became friends with somebody who was on my level of thinking, and as I matured, me and him became back friends. It was like we never missed a beat. But it was that little gap where he matured quicker than me, and he was out there doing this. So now he's here as far as maturity, and now I'm here. But once my maturity got with him, now we back friends again, and we
Okay.
didn't miss a beat.
Got it.
So I think it's all based on the person, your character. Because I could have easily been like, man, you left me. Or, you know what I'm saying? I could have been like a John John. But instead, I was like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it sounds like a little bit of jealousy is involved too,
Right.
in the movie because when you were describing the characters earlier, John wanted to be like you all in the movie, so I'm guessing you all were popular in the movie in the
Absolutely.
neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
girls like you, the dudes couldn't dress like you, and
Right.
all
Yeah,
that stuff because you had money that kids normally your age don't have.
Right.
So you had to. So that issue is another part of the movie.
Right.
Man, I can't wait to see this movie. Tell me about. I just want to now just kind of bounce from subject matter. People don't know how interesting it is to market. Sure, there are a whole lot of other mediums that didn't exist 20 years ago
Right.
that you can utilize now.
Right.
But you can't solely depend on those either.
Right.
How do you all go about marketing this movie?
For me personally, this is my first time, so it's kind of like trial and error with me.
Okay.
I made my video. I put it on Facebook. I put it on social media. I put everything out on social media. But not only that, I jumped in everybody's personal message and ask them personally, do you want to come see this show? And honestly, that worked for me. Um, a personal invite. Because in the world today, everybody's busy. You know, um, you could take all four of us that's in this room.
Mm-hmm.
If I put something online and all four of y'all watch it, no matter how good it looks, he may say, hey, oh man, that looks good. I'm gonna go to that. But the next 10 minutes, you're gonna forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never gonna remember it again. If I don't post nothing else, you're not gonna remember it anymore, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So what I did is I posted that main thing, and then I gave it some days, and then I started jumping in. People, hey, I don't know if you've seen this, but would you like to come to my premiere? Boom. So that has been my personal seller.
I think you're onto something. Personalized marketing
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
a long way.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, right now in the entertainment world, I'm nobody. I'm not popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just post something online and think people say, "Oh, Chris Hughes got something going. I got to go get it." I hope to be there one day,
Absolutely.
but right now it's not that. So um, jumping in people's personal space and say, "Hey, would you like to do it?" It has worked for me. I actually sold 250 tickets by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
it works. It works. So and anybody who's looking that's bought ticket, I appreciate y'all because some people just bought it and was like, "Hey, I know I can't show up, but I want to support you because
Support,
I like
yeah,
what you're doing."
because you personalized it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell me, Arthur, what is your hope and desire coming from this movie?
Well, personally, I just hope everybody come to the movie and what they get out the movie, that the message for one, and then also to see that Macon has some great talent.
No doubt.
We for years we just had the music. People just wanted to do music. It wasn't too many people out here doing acting and modeling and all that stuff. You had them, but they were they was very too far in between that you couldn't you didn't
Mm-hmm.
really know. So everybody, like Christian said about his music, and we did music too, me and my brothers. So that's what the thing was, because Macon was more like a music town, and people looking at the music. So I just want everybody to know that to take from this movie that for one, it's a great movie. You're gonna have fun, but the acting in it is amazing, and every last one of these actors are from Macon, Georgia, Macon and Miller, Georgia. We got a couple from Millersville, but most of the cast is from Macon. So yeah, and the film, the editing and all that stuff was done by Chris. So just looking at the movie itself, just a take away from that. Hey, making got it going on when it comes to talent.
That's an awesome thing to grow that idea, because there are a lot of very interesting uh, people here that do all art forms, you know, and we certainly are going to do what we can to be behind this project. Um, Tell me what you want to happen as a result of this movie, Chris.
I hope this movie just show people the talent that we're trying to bring out. We're trying to start. We have started um, a nice core group with us. It's almost like the Tyler Perry effect. Tyler Perry worked with the same cast when he was a nobody till he became a billionaire, and that's what we want to do. We're working on our second movie now, and we have almost the same characters in there. And it's about growth. It's about just building something with a team that you can trust, and everybody wants to has the same end goal, and that's to make it. Um, you know, one thing that I want to do is not compare or compete with anybody else who's doing what we're doing. There's a lot of filmmakers that make it, and um, in this world, there's enough money for everybody. You
That
don't have
is
to.
true.
You don't have to step on the next man or down the next man to up yourself, and that's something I would never do. Um, it's one of those things where once this movie is aired, I want people to say, "Hey, I like the storyline," or "I like this, I like that." And if you don't like something, I would like to hear that too, because I could take honest criticism very well. Um, it's a couple of things that I had issues with this film, and it's my film. So at the end of the day, I just want this to put some type of brand on what we're doing, because this one is a great movie. The next one that we're doing is going to be phenomenal. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. From the script to the actual filming of it, the guy who filmed it is a lot better than the guy who filmed this one. The storyline is a little better as well. But this one is great. So it's kind of like you want to elevate every time.
You know what? Now, let me tell you something that I found to be a truism. You can sit there with your movie knowledge, theatrical knowledge, script writing knowledge. I mean, you can sit there and go, this work was good, but this work is better. And then when the audience determines the work that you thought was better,
Absolutely.
nobody paid it any attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about the audience and what reaches them.
Right.
And that's another frustrating part
Yeah.
about this genre. Because you can go, man, I know this is the winner. Oh, high five and all over the place. This is going to kill them. And then you go like crickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's not up to you.
Yeah, and
It's up to
then
them.
the other joint, you thinking, man, you know, that's not that good. And then that's what everybody's buzzing about,
Yeah.
everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
So the moral of that story is just keep working.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's an audience out there for everything.
Right.
And sometimes we have to let go of what we think are our favorites and just make things available
Right.
for people. And it's very, very encouraging to know that you're out there making movies, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very encouraging. And do know now, Tyler Perry and Steve Harvey have bought land out in Thomaston, Georgia. So,
Okay.
yeah, everybody don't know that.
Yeah.
But so I think Hollywood's getting tired of, you know, having to postpone filming because of the next earthquake and the next fire.
Right.
And people need to pay attention that it's much more than Tyler Perry migrating, coming here
Right.
to the South.
Right.
You know what I mean? The nature itself, the fires and the rain and the weather is running, and the earthquakes are running people this way. So I think you guys are getting into this at a hot time, man.
Yeah.
And anytime in this country so far, when there's what do you call it, recessions and things of that nature, people turn to entertainment.
Right.
History has shown us that.
Right.
So keep pushing it, man. This is when Commissioner Tillman called me and said, Al Tillman called me and said, hey, I want you to do my show. And I said, well, what's the subject matter? And he told me, I was like, yeah, because I'm so for storytelling.
Right.
Because in the end, this is what this is.
Right.
This is storytelling. In our African heritage, the griots were the ones that passed down stories. And that's how we kept our history intact.
Right.
And now we have all these different mediums that we have. Making rap songs, making R&B songs, making movies.
Mm-hmm.
And like you all say, this is something that hadn't been explored with great wealth here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got great talent, such as Chris Hughes and such as Arthur Moore, right in our midst.
Right.
So the secret's out.
Right.
The movie premiere is coming up September 24th, 2022 at the Anderson Conference Center here in Macon, Georgia. It's about loyalty. It's about power. It's about betrayal. The name of the movie? From the Shadows. Now, we got a couple more minutes here. Anything you want to shout out to the people? Both you gentlemen, just have at it.
Well, I just want to, thank everybody who's purchased so far and everybody who's going to purchase to come see it. Uh, Reiterate that it is a dress to impress event, red carpet. So not only do you come see a great movie, you come out and look good, take pictures, and have a good time. Um, uh, before we go though, I'm a
No,
man over
no,
here.
you good. You
My,
good. Go ahead.
my man over here, Vasco Sanders. This is the star of the second movie that we're doing, and it's
Twigs County
Twigs
own
County.
Vasco Sanders.
Quids County, not Twigs.
Yeah.
Quids
See,
County.
we were gonna bring Vasco on, man, but he was just too much light coming from that side of the room with Vasco, man. So Vasco's gonna be on soon talking
Yeah.
about the other movie.
Yeah, so
But
that
yeah,
movie's
yeah,
dropping
man.
next year, beginning of next year. Hopefully, we still filming it. We're almost done with it, but yeah. As far as From the Shadows, I think we got a great product here. I think y'all enjoy it. You know, like I said before, the second one is has a better. Uh, well, I ain't gonna get into all that. But this is just the From the Shadows is a good movie, man. Y'all come check it out. And let my man over there say what he got to say. Arthur Moore, smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
yeah,
the film version of Smooth, not the original Smooth.
Right.
Okay.
hey, I got smooth on my tag out there. But,
Right.
but yeah, man, just elaborate on what Chris said, piggyback off Chris. I mean, it's just the movie's great. Shout out to everybody that was involved in this movie. We had a lot of people that we respect and that does this all the time. Stage plays and that helped us out with this movie. So I just want to shout out to all of them, the actors, the actresses. I mean, like I said, we got we had a phenomenal cast. And we had some people that came in as extras and all that stuff. So we want to just give a shout out to them because, again, we couldn't do this without everybody's input. And so, yeah, we just want to give a shout out to everybody. My baby, Jeanette, putting up with me.
Awesome. That's an intelligent brother right there. And listen,
Hey,
want
I
to
was gonna
say
save
this.
that for the movie night.
Yeah.
I got something to say about my wife. The movie night.
Yeah. You better fix that.
I had a love scene in there. Ooh,
You better fix
I had a
it.
love scene there.
Listen, I just want to say this to everybody listening. Let's support this project. Let's not go out, try to find a copy, and pirate it. Let's support this project. They've done the business. They've done their due diligence. It's copywritten at the Library of Congress. All those things, the business side of it, is covered. Right. And so we want to elevate. We want to illuminate. You know what I mean? So let's not take away from this great project and this great contribution that these gentlemen are giving us. Let's go forward. Let's be of help. Let's support. Let's support. We talk about we don't see film with people that look like us, that act like us, that tell our stories. Then now, here you go. We're here with Chris Hughes. We're here with Arthur Moore. And we're here with the shining light from Twigs County. Vasco in the house. He's simmering over there, ladies and gentlemen. He's a force that's coming soon.
Yeah, that's a great actor over there, though. That's that dude over there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, also want to give them the time. The doors are going to open at 6:30. It is a red carpet event.
Sure.
Show will begin at 7 p.m. It's a wonderful thing, man, because a lot of people got a lot of different clothes they never get to wear.
Exactly.
A lot of people, their whole reason for going to Atlanta so much
Right.
is so they can get a chance to wear certain clothing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because just me noticing around here, I don't want to put on my certain suit, and the person standing in line next to me got on cut up shorts because it's kind of how we do it in Macon. So I'm so glad that you're giving everybody an opportunity to put on their rags and, do the thing right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I just think this movie, just from listening to you all in your descriptions and how it resonates with me, real life, and I can hear the passion, I can see the passion in all of you about this project, man. It's a beautiful thing to see our brothers working together and our sisters. I think at this time, you might want to call out some of your actors and actresses name who's going to be starring in this movie.
Absolutely.
But don't get me in trouble and say he didn't give you, maybe he didn't give us time to mention y'all's name. So go ahead, seriously.
So y'all got our names. My love interest is played by Charlene, which is Zamisha West. Zamisha West. She's from Millersville. Arthur's love interest is Lisa in the movie, which is played by Rashida Nellam. My brother is John. His name is Anthony Garrett. Vasco is in the movie. In the movie, he is. What's your character name in the movie, Vasco? Holler that. Justice.
I saw a scene when you all were at the drive-through
Uh-huh.
with Rashida.
So that was
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We was doing the little promotion thing, me and Rashida.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, so it was only fate that's Rashida Smooth's girlfriend.
Yeah.
See, for years I've been telling that girl she belongs to Hollywood. Years ago.
She was getting mad at me. I said, "You got that look." She said, "What does that mean?"
Years. I mean, I don't want to give her age of anything. Years and years and years ago. That girl, sweet spirit. So guys, nothing but love from us. I'll do all I can to help you guys celebrate this project. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Tillman Show. And then next week, great.
It's the Al Tillman Show.
Al Tillman. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Al Tillman Show right here on The Glory.
Glory, glory.
Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m.
I appreciate folks tuning in.
Yeah, y'all just act like I'm just not him.
Tune in to
WDDO.
Live,
That's what's happening.
a blast off of entertainment and community news.
And everything.
Yeah, that's some good information.
Can I get a witness up in here?
Yes, baby. Because they know I don't play him.
Streaming live on your smart devices and all social media platforms. Tune in on the iconic WDDO.
Each and every
Thursday, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Featuring Miss Maylene.
You know I know some things, baby.
right here on 107.9. The Glory.
The Al Tillman Show. Every Thursday. Don't miss it.
Al Tillman.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of